Everyone thinks they understand McDonald's. Burgers, fries, drive-through windows glowing at midnight. It feels simple. A fast food company that mastered speed and scale. But simplicity can be an illusion. Because the truth is this: McDonald's is not primarily in the burger business. It is in the asset business. And that difference changes everything. When most people look at a McDonald's restaurant, they see customers walking in and out. They see menu boards. They see transactions happening every few seconds. What they don't see is the structure underneath, the system, the control, the land. Fast food by itself is not a particularly powerful industry. Margins are thin. Ingredients fluctuate in price. Labor costs rise every year. Competition is aggressive and relentless. Restaurants fail constantly. So how does a company selling low-cost meals become one of the most stable corporations on the planet? The answer is not volume, it's leverage. In the early years, McDonald's expansion almost collapsed under its own growth. Franchisees were inconsistent, quality dropped, oversight was weak, scaling food is chaotic. But then came a strategic shift that would redefine the company forever. Instead of simply franchising restaurants and collecting a percentage of sales, McDonald's began purchasing the land beneath its locations. Prime corners, high-traffic intersections, emerging suburban corridors, highway exit ramps. Not random real estate, strategic geography. Here's why that matters. When a franchisee operates a McDonald's, they don't just pay for the right to use the brand. They pay rent. And not symbolic rent, substantial rent, structured rent. McDonald's often owns the property and leases it to the operator at terms that include both a base payment and a percentage of revenue. That means the corporation earns income before profits are even calculated at the restaurant level. Think about that. If the operator struggles, McDonald's still collects rent. If the operator fails, McDonald's keeps the asset. If the property value increases over time, the corporation benefits from appreciation. The visible business sells food. The invisible business controls land. And land behaves differently than burgers. Food expires. Real estate compounds. This model transformed McDonald's from a restaurant chain into something far more resilient. It became a landlord, a global landlord with thousands of tenants. Now, consider the scale. Multiply this structure across tens of thousands of locations worldwide. Each one positioned in areas selected for visibility, accessibility, and long-term traffic patterns. Each one sitting on controlled ground. This is not accidental growth. It is territorial strategy. Because when you control physical locations in high-value corridors, you are not just participating in commerce, you are shaping it. The golden arches are not just a sign, they are markers. Markers of owned infrastructure. And infrastructure is where long-term wealth hides. The public sees a burger chain. Investors see asset backing. Entrepreneurs see brand dominance. Strategists see a system designed to minimize risk and maximize control. This is the first layer of understanding. McDonald's does not depend purely on selling more meals. It depends on owning more leverage. And leverage, when built correctly, turns ordinary businesses into financial machines. This is where the illusion begins to break. Because once you understand that the foundation is property, you start to ask a different question. If McDonald's is really a real estate empire disguised as a restaurant chain, what else in the corporate world is operating the same way? To understand the true power of this model, you have to shift your perspective. Most businesses focus on products. They refine the recipe. They improve packaging. They compete on marketing. But products are fragile. Tastes change. Trends shift. New competitors emerge. Assets, however, behave differently. When McDonald's secures a prime intersection in a growing city, it is not just opening a restaurant, it is locking in positioning. Positioning is power, because traffic patterns rarely disappear. Neighborhoods expand, infrastructure improves, property values rise. And when that happens, the land beneath a McDonald's location often becomes more valuable over time. Now imagine thousands of these strategic positions across the globe, from dense urban centers to expanding suburbs, from highway systems to international commercial districts. This is not random expansion. It is calculated territorial dominance. Every new location strengthens the network. Every lease reinforces predictable income. Every property adds a layer of stability. That stability is what makes investors comfortable. Public markets reward consistency. And few things are more consistent than rent collected from a global franchise system. Think about the structure again. The franchisee invests capital. The franchisee hires staff. The franchisee handles day-to-day operations, but the corporation controls the land, the brand, the system, and the supply chain framework. That asymmetry matters. Because in difficult economic periods, restaurants may struggle with profit margins, but rent remains due. The system is engineered so that risk flows downward, while control flows upward. That is structural design, not luck. Now consider something deeper. When McDonald's selects a site, it conducts extensive analysis: traffic volume, demographics, income levels, development forecasts, urban planning data. They are not simply choosing where people are. They are choosing where growth will happen. That means many locations are placed in corridors that will increase in value over decades. So even if food trends evolve, even if menus change, even if consumer habits shift, the underlying asset remains. Real estate provides optionality. Optionality means flexibility. If a location ever underperforms, the land can be repositioned, repurposed, redeveloped, released. The company is not trapped by a single revenue stream. It is supported by physical leverage. This is why describing McDonald's as a fast food chain is incomplete. It is a franchising engine backed by real estate control. And that combination creates something rare: predictable cash flow with asset security. Predictable cash flow attracts institutional capital. Institutional capital reinforces valuation stability. Valuation stability lowers financing costs. Lower financing costs allow further expansion. This becomes a feedback loop, a system feeding itself. The brand attracts customers. Customers generate sales. Sales support rent. Rent supports corporate stability. Corporate stability supports expansion. Expansion secures more land, and the cycle continues. Now zoom out. This model does not rely on explosive innovation every year. It relies on structure, on discipline, on long-term thinking. While other companies chase rapid product cycles, McDonald's fortifies geography. And geography, when controlled strategically, becomes economic infrastructure. Infrastructure is powerful because it becomes embedded in daily life. People move around it. Cities grow around it. Commerce forms around it. When a brand occupies thousands of visible, accessible, high-traffic properties, it becomes part of the landscape itself. That is deeper than popularity. That is structural presence. And structural presence is difficult to disrupt because competitors can copy a menu, They can copy marketing. They can imitate branding. But replicating decades of accumulated prime real estate positions is nearly impossible. This is the hidden advantage. The moat is not just the logo, it is the land portfolio. And portfolios, when diversified globally, reduce volatility. A downturn in one region may be offset by stability in another. Currency fluctuations are absorbed by geographic spread. Local challenges are diluted by scale. The surface business sells food. The deeper system manages assets across continents. That is why analysts evaluate McDonald's differently from a typical restaurant chain. They evaluate it as a hybrid, part brand, part franchisor, part landlord. And landlords operate on a different level of leverage. The question is no longer how many burgers are sold. The question becomes, how much controlled territory underpins the brand? Because territory is durable. Once you understand this structure, the story changes. The conversation shifts from burgers to balance sheets, from menus to leverage, from fast food to financial architecture. Because what McDonald's built is not just a chain of restaurants. It built a machine designed around ownership, control, and predictability. And predictability is one of the most valuable commodities in global finance. Markets dislike uncertainty. They reward stability. They reward systems that can withstand shocks. Consider economic downturns. When consumer spending tightens, many businesses suffer dramatically, but McDonald's often performs defensively. Why? Because its revenue does not depend solely on discretionary dining trends. It depends on contractual rent obligations and royalty agreements. Contracts create structure. Structure creates resilience, and resilience builds investor confidence. Now, zoom out even further. This model reflects a broader principle used by some of the most powerful corporations in the world. The visible layer attracts attention. The foundational layer generates wealth. In McDonald's case, the visible layer is fast food. The foundational layer is asset-backed franchising. Products generate cash flow. Assets generate leverage. Leverage multiplies outcomes. That multiplication effect is subtle. It happens slowly, quietly, over decades. But when you analyze the long arc of the company's history, the pattern becomes clear. The expansion strategy was not just about opening more restaurants. It was about securing more territory. Every new location was not simply a sales outlet. It was a long-term position, a node in a global network of controlled geography. This transforms the brand into infrastructure. Infrastructure is powerful because it becomes embedded in economic routines. Delivery routes incorporated. Traffic systems adapt to it. Communities orient around it. When a corporation becomes embedded in daily patterns of movement and consumption, it becomes structurally relevant. Structural relevance is harder to disrupt than popularity. Popularity can fade. Infrastructure persists. And that is the hidden layer behind the golden arches. Investors understand this. They analyze asset ratios. They study real estate holdings. They evaluate lease structures. Because beneath the marketing campaigns and menu updates lies something more durable. A portfolio. A portfolio of land positions strategically placed across continents. And portfolios behave differently from products. Products require constant reinvention. Portfolios require disciplined management. One is reactive, the other is structural. This distinction explains why McDonald's has maintained remarkable consistency over decades. It does not chase volatility, it compounds stability. Compounding is not loud. It is not dramatic. It does not trend on social media. But compounding, sustained long enough, creates scale that feels immovable. Now consider the broader lesson. The most powerful companies in the world rarely make their money the way the public assumes. What appears obvious is often surface level. What drives valuation is usually hidden in structure. So the next time you see a McDonald's location at a busy intersection, look beyond the menu. Look beyond the brand. Consider the ground beneath it. Consider the decades-long commitment to securing prime geography. Consider the contracts binding operators to structured payments. Consider the asset appreciation quietly occurring over time. This is not accidental success. It is engineered stability. And engineered stability attracts capital. Capital amplifies expansion. Expansion reinforces control. Control strengthens leverage. And leverage, applied consistently, transforms ordinary businesses into financial empires. McDonald's does not win because it sells burgers faster. It wins because it owns strategic ground in thousands of high-traffic corridors across the planet. The burgers generate transactions. The land generates power. And power, when embedded in infrastructure, becomes difficult to displace. That is the hidden architecture. That is the system behind the brand. And that is why the golden arches represent something far more strategic than fast food. They represent controlled territory. And in global finance, territory is influence. This is Hidden Capital TV, and this is the system behind wealth.